Good when we travel, but it's even better when we come back home, right? After a long trip, when you go back home, it is amazing. So, these were my longest trips. What about you? What is the longest trip you've ever taken, and where did you go? Number two, second question. What's a place you'd love to visit that you haven't been to yet? So look, what is your dream destination? In my case, I would love to visit England. I haven't had the opportunity yet. Also, I would love to visit Norway. Norway is like Noruega. I would love to visit Norway and see the northern lights. The northern lights are like Aurora Boreal. I would love to see that in person. I think that you can also see it in Canada, right? There's like the extreme north, I guess, of Canada. You can also see the northern lights. So these are the two destinations that I would love to visit. I haven't had the opportunity yet, but I hope that soon I'm going to be able to do it. What about you? What is the place or the places that you would love to visit? All right? Number three, third question. How many countries have you visited and which ones? So, how many countries have you visited and which ones? Which ones did you visit? Well, I haven't been to many countries. I've been to two countries only, and they were all here in South America. I have been recently, I went to Argentina. Like I returned yesterday. It was really nice. It was really sweet. But my Spanish is not so good. So I had to speak like Portuñol, you know? It was thank God that Portuguese and Spanish they have the same roots, right? So we are able to understand Spanish, even though we have some trouble. So I have been to Argentina. It was really nice, and I have been to Paraguay. That is like the border, right, with Foz do Iguaçu. So it's easy, very easy to go there. It's like a neighborhood in Brazil because it is so easy to visit. But I have a long list of the ones that I want to visit, like a really long one. What about you? How many countries have you visited and which ones? Which ones have you been to and which ones you want to go to, you want to visit, all right? Number four, fourth question. What was the most breathtaking view you've seen on a trip? So look, what was the most breathtaking? Something breathtaking is something that is so beautiful. It is so wonderful, so amazing that you are not able to breathe, okay? So breathtaking is something that makes you be like, oh my God, this is amazing. All right, it is breathtaking. Breathtaking, something so wonderful that makes it hard for you to breathe, right? So which one? Which view was so breathtaking on a trip? Well, this one is hard because we live in Brazil, right? And in Brazil we have many natural beauties. So we have like nature at its splendor, right? At its highest point. But I remember that once I saw that the Cataratas do Iguaçu Falls, and it was like in full capacity, you know? The waterfall, it was so dense, it was so full that whenever you looked at it, you could only see like the water, of course, but like some foam because of the density of the water. So I think that it was beautiful. It looked like a painting, you know? It was so amazing that it looked like a painting. So I think that this one was really breathtaking. Many sunsets, especially at the beach, also breathtaking. So I think that here in Brazil we have this advantage, right? We have nature all around us. And this is amazing. We don't even have to travel like afar because we can find, and I'm sure that every state in Brazil has like uh, a place to visit that is beautiful because of nature. So we have this on our side. What about you? What was the most breathtaking view you've seen on a trip? Right? Number 5. What's the most interesting cultural experience you've had while traveling? So what's the most interesting cultural experience you've had while traveling? I think that food, trying different kinds of food. Once again, you don't have to travel to another country to experience to have different experiences, because Brazil is so diverse that we can have it whenever we live, whenever we go, right? So nowadays I live in Curitiba, but I've lived in Manaus, like in the north of Brazil. And it looks like a totally different country because of the culture, you know? It looks like a different place because the culture is so rich and so diverse that especially regarding food. I'm the kind of person who loves to eat. So I love to eat new things, to try new things. And I think that trying different kinds of food uh, is always the most interesting. As I told you, I've been to Argentina this week, and it was really nice. It was really amazing, and I was able to try Peruvian food. So the food from Peru, and I had a juice that it was made of a purple corn. You know, it was a juice of purple corn, milho roxo, but a juice. This one for me was like mind blowing. So different. It was good. It was really good, really tasty, but weird. So for me, it's always interesting. The most interesting thing on a trip is to try the food, especially the ones that are like regional, that are typical of that place, you know? What about you? What's the most interesting cultural experience you've had while traveling? And number 6, the last one. Is there a place you visited that you wouldn't want to go back to, and why? So think about the places that you have traveled to. It doesn't have to be like only countries. It can also be like, for example, landmarks that you have visited or tourist spots that you have visited. Is there somewhere that you wouldn't want to go back? You wouldn't like to visit again? It can be because of a bad experience or just that it didn't match your expectations. In my case, thinking about my trips, I don't recall any place that I wouldn't go back to, you know? Like, I want to have the experience of visiting new places. So, hardly I would repeat a trip. But I don't remember. I don't remember an experience that was so negative to the point that I wouldn't go visit that place again. I don't recall. But what about you? Is there a place you visited that you wouldn't want to go back to? And why? All right? So guys, These are the 6 questions we're exploring today, okay? Now is the time that you practice with one another, you explore these answers. Remember that at this time, at this point, we don't have watchers, okay? We don't have an audience to the practice rooms, to the breakout rooms. So if you don't have